Hey, everybody. Wow, it's been quite a while since I've done this. Had kind of a conversation with the camera here. But, as you're seeing this, I'm really having a conversation with you, albeit kind of one-sided right now since I'm the only person talking. I digress. Okay, so let's get to the point of this whole video. Something I've been thinking about for a while, something I've been thinking about doing for quite a while. Not really trying to, arrogantly start a trend here on YouTube, but maybe kind of spark something, hopefully, and just see what happens. One of my favorite things out there, ever since I was a little kid, and I think it's somewhat of a lost art. I use the word art loosely. Lost tradition, I should say, is telling someone a story. And I don't just mean a story like a fairy tale kind of story. No, I'm talking about like a true story, something anecdotal from that person's personal life, whether it be funny or interesting or, man, you won't believe what happened, kind of story. I've always kind of revered those moments in my life when somebody sat me down face to face, kind of like we're doing right now, and just told me a story, something that I hadn't heard before, and it happened to be a true story. So what I'd like to do with this video is throw this out there to a few people and hope that they reciprocate and kind of follow my lead here and tell us a story. I, of course, will try and lead by example here and get the ball rolling, and I'm going to tell you a story, a very true story from my life that involves me, obviously, because it's from my life, duh. But I'm hoping that some of the folks out there will do the same thing and share with us a story from their life, something funny or interesting or anecdotal or something maybe even, semi-personal to them, something that they think is an interesting story to tell. So, let's see, where do I begin? My story. Okay, well, first of all, as kind of embarrassing as this is, guys, this is 100% true. Swear on my life, this is the absolute truth. Okay, so let's see, how long ago was this? Probably about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So I was in my mid-20s back then. God, that seems like forever ago. And this was in the previous apartment that I lived with when I lived with a roommate, actually. I live alone now. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to know a little bit about this. There's a little network out there called G4. And they had this little program that's still on there to some degree called Attack of the Show. And way back when, it was hosted by who I felt was the two best hosts in the history of the show. Those would be Mr. Kevin Pereira and Miss Olivia Munn. That was kind of my one great equalizer in life, was to come home from a long day of work, fire up the DVR and watch Attack of the Show. It was great. It was like my relaxation, my hour of relaxation for the day. Loved it. Kevin and Olivia were extremely entertaining, and just kind of made my day to come home to that. Monday through Thursday. Friday they would do the rehash of the shows from that week. So it was right around Valentine's Day that year, and about a week before it, I think, they decided to hold a contest where basically you were going to be given a chance to have a date on the air with Miss Olivia Munn, who personally I think she's a pretty good looking woman, very funny, knows about geek stuff, knows about guy stuff, so that's pretty fetching, Olivia. So basically, to enter the contest, you had to go into their chat room and basically talk with one of their admins and kind of give them your pitch as far as, why you feel that you should be given a chance, because they were only going to give, I think, like 5 or 6 guys a chance. So I thought about it, and the whole thing was you had to give her a pickup line. You had to give her your best line. And I'm like, well, I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, all right, these guys are probably going to throw some raunchy stuff at it, do you wash your underwear in Windex because I can see myself in your panties, something stupid like that. So I, being the I'll go on a limb and say somewhat creative guy that I am. I like to be imaginative. Thought I would think a little bit outside the box and maybe do something to give me a little bit of an edge. Not just throw a generic pickup line at her, but actually throw something that was relevant to her as a person. So, sorry, I got a bit of an itchy nose today. I thought about it and I remembered a particular episode of Attack of the Show that was, I think, a couple of months before this. And it involved Olivia had messed up a line from the teleprompter, and I thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen because she genuinely messed it up and she had no idea that she made the mistake. And Kevin, obviously playing up the humor like he normally does, kind of ran with it for a minute, and me and Kevin and pretty much everyone else in the studio, I bet everyone watching knew that Olivia made the mistake, and she was completely oblivious to it for like 30 seconds. And the line was, they were talking about something about MC Hammer, and she had said McHammer. Kind of like it was something from McDonald's. And Kevin immediately was like trying to restrain his laughter, when that happened. And she's like, "What is it?" He's like, "Nothing, nothing." She's like, "Did I say something wrong?" He's like, "Please, McHammer, don't hurt him." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "It's MC Hammer." And she's like, "Oh my God." And she, immediately realized the stupidity of the comment that she made. And she laughed at herself. She's got a sense of humor about herself, which is one of the reasons, myself and probably a lot of you out there find her attractive, is, she's funny. And I thought that, that'd be a really great idea to work that in because she has a sense of humor about herself. Like, why don't I use that? And I thought about it, and so I go into the chat room and I talk to the admin, and he's like, "What's your pickup line?" And I was like, "Well, I've been thinking about it, and I thought I would say, Olivia, you had me at McHammer." And there was this long pause where the admin didn't say anything. I could see his face, and I'm like, "Oh, shit. Like, it's terrible. Like, this is totally blowing up." And then he types in, he's just like, "That's the best line we've heard so far. You're in." And I was like, "No fucking way, man. Like, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're in." And he gives me the details about it. And, when I need to sign on, because they were doing this basically via video chat through Stickcam, I believe it was. And so he gave me the details and stuff like that, and I told everyone that I knew, my entire family, I'm like, "Guys, I'm going to be on TV, it's going to be on Valentine's Day. Look, dude, I've got a date with Olivia Munn, dude, this is going to be incredible." So, everyone is like, watching the show, all my friends and family are tuning in and stuff like that to see me in my big moment, my 15 seconds of fame. So the day comes, get a haircut, get, nice dressed up and everything, and I go into the chat room, to do the little thing, where they want you in at a certain time, and you got to do this, this, and that. And I'm in there with the other guys, there's like 6 other guys, I think, in there, and we're just, talking about it and stuff, and laughing and having a good time. And then they asked me they need me basically in 2 different video chat rooms, because you're on webcam and you're on a cell phone, for the audio, talking at the same time. And I'm on the call, and I'm sitting there, and I'm noticing that I'm having a little bit of a problem getting my webcam to pick up the video in both chat rooms at the same time, almost like the bandwidth is off or something. And it simply is going to do one or the other, and it won't do both at once. So I'm asking the other guys for help. One of them is actually being genuinely helpful, and he's trying to help me work through it. And we're just, trying this and we're trying that, and nothing seems to be working. And I'm in a freaking panic at this point, because this is going live on television. This isn't pre-taped. I'm like, shit, I got to do something. So we're trying to work it out. I'm like, frantically going back and forth with these guys, and so far we're coming up with nothing. And then while we're on the call, while we're on hold for commercial, Kevin and Olivia are on the phone. We're all basically on a conference call, and I'm sitting there on the phone, and it's Kevin and Olivia. And, they're saying hi, and Olivia's going through, and she's saying hi to each individual person. Like, "Hi, so-and-so from this area, and so-and-so from this area." She's obviously reading off a call sheet or something. And the first thing I noticed about her, guys, is that woman has a mouth on her, but in the most refreshing way. It's definitely not dull. Like, I think one of the guys said, she said hi, how are you? And he's just like, "Oh, how you doing, ma'am?" And her exact words, I'm not kidding here, were, "Ma'am, oh, you lose, buddy, fuck off." And I'm just like, oh my God, I was just like sitting there trying to restrain my laughter. I didn't want to be the laughing idiot on the phone. And she gets to me, and I almost don't know what to say. She's like, hi, Jimbo from blah 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 Virginia, and I'm just like, oh, hi Olivia. I was like, oh, happy Valentine's Day. And she's like, oh, that's so nice. You don't have to say that. I was like, well, it is Valentine's Day, so I, just wanted to be polite. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. And I'm like, please let her not be saying that just to placate me right now, because I need everything working for me right now. And I was kind of getting the impression that she was having a bad Valentine's Day. I don't know if some, dickhead like blew her off or something. Maybe. If that happened, sorry, Olivia. My Valentine's Day didn't turn out that much better either, which you'll find out here in just a second. Okay, so it comes down to crunch time, right? And basically, we can't get the video camera on my end working the way we need to. And it's just not working because they need you in both rooms at once for technical reasons or whatever, and it just doesn't work. We can't get it to work. So basically I'm there on the call, and the segment, I'm watching the TV next to me, comes and goes, and 6 other guys, get their chance to throw their lines at them. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, and no offense to the 6 other guys, but their lines were fucking terrible. I mean, at least, maybe I'm biased, but compared to mine, no originality, no creativity. They were just fucking god awful. So that was just like throwing salt in an open wound. I was like, God, the guy who's gonna win has a freaking way shittier line than I do. That's terrific. The only difference between him and me is that his camera works and mine doesn't. So at this point, man, I am freaking devastated. Not just because I blew my one shot, talking to the nerd goddess, but at the same time, my entire, friend and family are watching this, probably wondering what the fuck happened. Where was he? And I'm like, great, now I'm gonna have to tell this incredibly sad story about 10 times and be embarrassed as hell. So that came and went. To be fair, after it was over, the G4 admin came on the phone, and he was like, man, I'm sorry. It's like we kind of have to have you in both places to get it to work. And he offered me a chance to be on next week's show. Where they were gonna, just ask the viewer poll, questions about something. I think it was about Indiana Jones or something. And, I did go on there for that. I didn't get on the show because, again, we were having the same technical problems, so that didn't pan out either. And after that, I pretty much just gave up. So, that is my incredibly embarrassing and very, very unfortunately true Valentine's Day story from a few years back. That was definitely the most catastrophic Valentine's Day I have ever had in my entire life. So, well, that's my story, guys. I'm going to throw this out there to pretty much anybody, but anybody who wants to submit a video reply to this, guys, we're taking all comers here. But I'm gonna call a few of you out here just to put you on the spot. A few of my buddies here on YouTube. EdgeWep88, I'm calling out you, buddy. I want to hear a Keelan story. My buddy Kirk Mose, Kirk Mosley. I want to hear one from you. Frankly, because I know your story is probably going to be vastly more interesting and crazy than mine, and the way you tell it is probably way better than I could tell any story ever. So, K-Mose, you're up. I also want to call my buddy Major Cord, because he is really awesome at telling anecdotal stories, and he's a lot more eloquent and better spoken than I am. So, Major Cord, you're called out, and I'm going to call out 2 more. I was originally only going to call out 4, but we're going to go for 5. Cajun Blaze, calling you out, buddy. Why? Once again, your stories are incredibly interesting, and you're a really good storyteller. And lastly, my buddy Guitar Mikey, too. Guitar Mikey, I know you got some stories, man. Hook us up. Tell us a personal story, man. In your case, it'll probably be a motivational story, because you're a really positive guy, but, whatever. But again, anyone else who wants to tell a story, bring it on. But 2 simple rules. Number 1, got to be a video reply. Basically just like this. You in front of the camera telling the story. Why? Not because I want to put anybody on the spot or make anyone uncomfortable. It's more going back to what I said earlier about the medium of storytelling, I think, kind of going by the wayside. When you're told a story, when someone's telling it to you like this, kind of face to face through the internet, you see their expressions and stuff like that. It gives the story a little bit more weight. Like you see their emotions and their memories that are tied to it. In my case, embarrassment and humor. It gives the story more personality and more of a human quality. And that's really what I'm looking for here, guys. Is kind of re-sparking, that lost craft of storytelling. So, well, anyways, I hope I get at least a couple video responses here, and I look forward to any of them that you guys throw out. Thanks for listening to my story, and I look forward to hearing yours. See you next time.